Hi, I'm Alexandra Harbushka. I am founder of Life with Herpes, and today we're going to talk about something really exciting: herpes and pregnancy. Okay, so one of the first things I was worried about when I was diagnosed is I asked my doctor is, hey, can I have children? Will this affect my baby? Will this affect my pregnancy? What is going on? And I'm sure if you're watching this, you've either made that decision to have a baby, which is so exciting, or you are pregnant, which is also, that's even more exciting, right? And of course you're like, oh my gosh, I have herpes, what's going on? So I myself am pregnant, so I am really excited to announce this and talk about it, and it's been a big topic for me. So I want to break it down to two different categories: women that have herpes and are pregnant, and then that have had herpes for a while, right? They've had herpes for a number of years, months, whatever. Then I want to break it down to women that are diagnosed with herpes during their pregnancy. So two different categories and two different things we have to talk about. So when we're talking about someone like myself who has had herpes for a number of years, it's really not an impact on my body anymore, and it's not going to be an impact on the baby. So it's not going to impact my ability to get pregnant. It's my fertility. It's not going to impact the pregnancy itself. It's not going to impact the baby in the womb. There is less than 1% chance of transmitting herpes during a vaginal birth. So I will talk about delivery later, but I just wanted to get into that. So somebody in my situation where we've had herpes for a number of years, it's really not an impact at all for the pregnancy or for the child. So not so much concern here. Now, we do have a little bit more that we need to talk about if you are diagnosed while being pregnant. So I'm going to break this up into when you are diagnosed. So if you are diagnosed early on in your pregnancy, like in the first trimester, then chances are, and most likely, your body has enough time to recover. So when you think about it, when this virus is coming into your environment, your body, it freaks out. Your body's like, oh my gosh, I have an invader, what's going on? It is focusing on how do I protect you, the body, and get rid of this virus. So it's under attack. There's a lot going on. And so in this case, if you are diagnosed early on in the first trimester, it gives your body enough time to digest it, understand, take care of itself. So first trimester, good to go. If you're diagnosed in your third trimester or within 6 weeks of delivering the baby, that's where it gets tricky, because at that point your body hasn't had that time to understand what's going on, build up the immune system, suppress it. So that's where it can get dangerous. So early on, like I mentioned, if you've had herpes for a while, you have a less than 1% chance of infecting your baby during delivery. There are some risks that saying if you are diagnosed in the last trimester, it increases 30 to 50% for a vaginal birth. So that is something to consider. If your child does catch herpes during delivery, that it can be fatal. It's very rare, but it's called neonatal herpes. So it can be fatal. It can be very dangerous. So here's what I recommend, is I really recommend talking to your medical professional. I have talked to people who have never, especially in our group, they've said like, hey, I didn't want to tell my doctor I had herpes, or I just went along and had a birth, and luckily everything turned out okay. But here's really the key that I want you to do is you need to discuss this with your OBG. You need to talk about this. You need to let him or her know, hey, I've had herpes for a month, I've had herpes for 5 years, I've had herpes for whatever, and figure out a plan. Most likely, and I said I'll get to the delivery part, most likely your healthcare, your OBG is going to put you on the antiviral in your 36th week. So they're going to put you on that antiviral to help suppress it. So that's going to be great. That antiviral works really, really well. It suppresses it. It keeps the viral shutting down. It suppresses the outbreak. So that's great news. And at the time of delivery, he or she will look and see and test and decide if there is an outbreak. And it'll be up to you guys to decide what is best. So if there is an outbreak, of course there is an option, which is great. It's a cesarean or C-section, which is not gonna put the baby at risk. The baby's not going to come in contact with the outbreak. So that is an option. So I know I mentioned that there are some risks of vaginal delivery if you are newly diagnosed with herpes during your pregnancy. By having a cesarean, it takes away all the probability. And I just want to bring this up. I've been doing a lot of research on this. There have been some studies, but nothing's really sure. I've read other studies that are like, absolutely not, has no impact whatsoever. I'm just going to throw it out there so that we know. I have to look up the exact, so 15 to 20% of pregnancies have miscarriages, right? So that's typically in the first trimester. 15 to 20% of pregnancies have miscarriages. That's also 1 in 4 women. It is pretty common. So we don't always know why the miscarriage happens, right? Most likely we don't know why the miscarriage happens. I did read here and there that potentially being diagnosed with herpes during that time could potentially cause a miscarriage, but it's not very likely. Again, I want to throw it out there. I want to put all this information out there so that you know, not so that you worry, but just so you have the education and you can go talk to your doctor and put everything out there. So that's most important. It's most important is your health, your baby's health, and just getting that little baby in your arms, safe and healthy and all that. If you have any questions, obviously let me know, type, ask. I'd love to see you in the Secret Society. If you have not heard of it, seen it, I want to tell you about it. Go to lifewithherpes.com/secret society. It is an online community of people living with herpes. So we do have, there's 2 of us right now that are pregnant. And so that is exciting. So we are the first in the community to have it. So it's awesome. But if you are there, come join, let us know what's going on, and we can ask your questions, support you through this awesome journey. All right, I will see you all soon in the next episode, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.